More naked women. What? Convening of naked women. Is this what happens at Burning Man? Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with a brand new show. It's another Disney Plus show, because you know what? They've been churning out some bangers lately. I have to say, this service is turning out to be worth the coins. But anyhow, so it's actually a Marvel show. It is Marvel Studios Echo. I was very much looking forward to this. I'm someone who watched all the Netflix shows. Like I watched the Netflix version of Daredevil, so I'm very familiar with the version of Wilson Fisk that we're going to be seeing in this, and I'm very thankful that Disney Marvel chose to keep him on in the same role as well as Charlie, because I think they did a fantastic job in their roles in the other show. And then I did, of course, on this channel, I reacted to Hawkeye, and this is where we were introduced to Echo's character, was through that series, and I really found her very intriguing and badass. And yeah, I was very excited when I found out that she was going to be getting her own spin-off show on the network. So I'm looking forward to this series. I see that they dropped 5 episodes, which is insane, considering that a lot of their other new shows have been weekly drops. I don't know if that's going to be the entirety of the drop or if this is just the first half, but either way, I'm really thankful that we have lots to chew on right out of the gate. But yes, I'm very much looking forward to this. I think it's just amazing, first of all, that we've got so much diversity in this character, not only just in her ethnicity, but in the fact that she is someone who is got a different set of abilities. If I remember correctly, this actress is actually deaf. So it's not an actor pretending to be deaf, kind of like the Charlie situation, but we have someone who actually is part of the deaf community who gets to represent and have an amazing role like this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it and supporting this type of diversity. I love seeing different types of stories told, and I'm excited to see more about hers, because the story that we got in Hawkeye was very clipped and it was very small. So I think there's a lot more to tell, and I want to get into it. So without further ado, let's do that. But just before I do, if this is your first time on my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. I do reactions here to all sorts of great things. And if you've been here before, welcome back. If you'd like to support me in any way and know when these episodes drop, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And if you like this video itself, I'd appreciate it so much if you threw some thumbs up on it and left me some comments below. Let me know what's going on, or fill in some gaps for me. You guys are really good about letting me know if I've missed things or if there's some context I might have missed. So, all right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode. Episode 1, which is called Chafa, right about now. I beg your pardon? Who's this? Where is this? What's this? This is not at all the way I expected to start this show. What is this? More naked women. What? Convening of naked women. Is this what happens at Burning Man? Oh, okay. Mayans, maybe? Looking at the design on the face. Kind of reminds me of Aztec, but maybe I'm reaching. I swear if I see Namor pop out of the water any second now. Well, so much for your creepy spa. Maybe you should go back in the pool, yeah. Oh, and now you're outside. And now you're human? Oh, look at that. Clothes mysteriously appeared.
First chapter's name is Chapter.
Okay.
And that's the story of the first chapter people.
I see.
No, we're cousins.
Semantics.
Grab that whole peach pie.
Graham Greene? Is that you, bro?
Garrett.
Best way to jump into a river.
Everybody should love something that much.
Aww. Aww.
Poor kid. He'll be better in a few days.
The bird's back. Same bird? Let me guess, it's a bad omen. Last time the bird came, the cave fell. I agree. What? Go out and get some more. That's right. Kidding. Be safe. It's raining hard. Probably not the best night for you to be going for hot chocolate. Uh-oh, she's stressed. She didn't like that bird.
Ancestors whispering in your ear again.
And if they are? They're telling me to get a divorce. Oh, God, no. Oh, God, no. Where'd that car even come from? She's the one whose brakes didn't work. That was intentional. Oof. Who's in the other vehicle? Did they leave already? Guess it doesn't matter. Wow, she had to lose the leg.
I didn't tell her yet.
I think she knows.
I found out who cut the brakes. They're taken care of.
That another family is now destroyed.
Makes me feel better.
Does it?
Begged her not to marry.
Oh,
Thugs, criminals.
is this the time though? They got married. They had a baby. It's too late now.
You took her from us. You.
All right, I think it's time to go.
No.
Fortunately, I get where they're coming from, but not the right approach.
New York.
Isn't that far enough?
No.
Yeah, that's her baby. I'm afraid she meant it. She's probably never going to forgive you. But your daughter did make a choice. And she clearly knew what that choice could mean. Oh, of course she blames herself. Oh, they lied and said she was hurt? Honey, what? Y'all need to tell her now. Yeah, I don't think she's going to have much to say to you that you're going to want to hear.
I go too.
Not this time.
No, no, no.
It sucks for her because clearly that was the last piece of her old life there, outside of her dad, obviously. But yeah, this is the hard thing. When you get into that life, that thug life, the ripple effects, there's no way to see how far it will reach. Please tell me you did not put her in a school. I don't know. Like, can you put deaf students into I guess they have to be really good lip readers, right? I thought they should need to go to at least special classes.
But dragons live in a different world.
Shang-Chi.
You have to learn to jump between two worlds. It's technology. You're going to grow up and have a different life than me.
Let's hope. Yeah, you're looking shady as hell there, Pops. You told her to watch, and she's watching, Daddy, and she's learning.
Maya.
Oh, God.
Fight!
That was a really interesting segue. I like that. She said, thanks for giving me your tell. Okay, we saw this flashback in Hawkeye. Damn, just gave up that easily? It's a belly wound. You could have possibly survived that. No, not the bloody handprint. And now Maya's all alone in the world, left with nothing but her anger and vengeance. She doesn't hear you, actually, quite literally. I love how they're doing this, trying to give us an idea of what it's like in her world with the silence.
We all mourn your father. I understand your age.
He actually does. He does. More than you know.
The pain that I felt in the wake of that moment is something that I've never felt again since.
I don't know. You seemed pretty angry in that last season of Daredevil, you know?
Help you release this rage in a more constructive way. You have greatness in you.
That's true.
Take your pain. Make it into something useful.
You know, if it's coming from anybody but Fisk, I'd say this is great advice.
Can't believe Kingpin has us babysitting this kid.
Baby. Yeah, if you've been working for Kingpin for a while, you should know that he doesn't take these assignments lightly. Fisk may be a lot of things, but an idiot he's not. Tread carefully. You just had to, huh?
Okay.
Too much. Thought. You thought. I would have broken his hand off personally.
Kingpin thanks you for your loyalty.
Damn, it was like that. It was quick like that. Okay, that's the stakes we're playing with. Okay, stay frosty, Maya. Stay frosty. Damn, he was a literal human. He ran into that door like a cannonball. This camera work. I'm Maya. It's like, yeah, y'all look like you've got this. Oh, back into Maya's world. She's like, I was literally just at the door. Oh my God, you punched a girl. What is wrong with you? Oh, I love that. The 2 heartbeats. Channel the rage. Channel the rage, Maya. Sorry. That was life or death, you know. I hope she didn't like that, but I think she did. Yep. Oh, Maya, your dad wanted better for you. Oh, she's like, yeah, you again.
Nice job, kid.
Whoa. Damn. Y'all don't have to fight.
Them all night.
That's crazy. She's deaf, he's blind. Are you kidding me right now?
And screwed everything up.
She can't. He just hit her in the ear. He's like, no more guidance. Woo, the parkour. Oh, damn. Okay. Right in the face, but you did hit her in the side of the head. Matthew, this is a girl. What are you doing?
None of my men have ever held their own with him like that. You did better than even I expected.
I mean, she did. Even Matthew would have been impressed.
What you lacked was a place and a purpose.
Hmm.
You have that now with me.
It's selling your soul.
Thank you, Uncle.
The way D'Onofrio can smile and make it the most terrifying thing you've ever seen.
Good.
Oh, you know this isn't right, Maya. He's like, look at my eyes.
When you're filled with rage, makes you blind. It can be used.
Mm-hmm.
Be manipulated.
And that's
Your boss
exactly what
and
happened.
your father dead.
Your daddy was cute in his younger years, though.
Maya.
Train a dog to bite.
I,
And at some point,
Father.
they're gonna bite you. Hmm. 5 months later. Okay, we're all caught up now. But something tells me she didn't double tap that kill with Fisk. He's not the kind of guy you shoot once. In fact, you shoot him, and then you dismember him, and then you burn him, and you scatter his ashes in the 4 corners of the earth, and possibly ask one of the Doctor Strange monks to send the rest of the ashes to the other side of, like, I don't know, another dimension. Just to be sure. Yep, that's gonna be infected. Don't touch it. Yeah. Not you bleeding down the bike. Where you at? Oh, you're going home. Gonna see Bonnie? Oh, sis. Oh, sis. Pull over. Actually, maybe not. You're bleeding. Not into a Kia. Here's my issue, though. I understand that she probably feels she's got nowhere else to go, but she should know that anyone who is looking for her, namely Fisk, assuming he survived, which I'm assuming he did. He would know to look for you back home. Like he would know everywhere you've ever known. Coming in the dead of night in a state where they can like shoot first and ask questions later, sis, that is brave. I would at least stay outside till daylight. You're gonna. What if it's mint flavored floss? Will that sting? Yikes. Is this your ancestor? Damn. So the bird came before her mom died, and now she's dreaming of the bird again. If it shows up outside, sis, I don't know what to tell you.
Maya? It's made biscuits. Oh my God.
Think me not so hard. I'm injured.
She's our cousin. She's good people.
Dog's like, I don't understand a word you just said.
She's busy. New York. Huge.
I get it. I haven't been home in a while. He's gonna blab. It's a small town. This is the biggest thing to happen in months, years, decades. Ooh, glow in the dark roller skating. That sounds fun. Gonna say hi to your bestie, your sister? Or are you too scared that she's gonna see right through you? She's like, Sixth Sense. I feel like something evil is watching over me. Didn't I say the roller skating would be fun? That's where I'd be headed. Milk kerosene, Jesus. I don't think those sprays actually do anything. The shoes always smell.
It's $7 to skate, or it's $5 to watch, or you go ahead and spend that $5 on a Butterfinger Blizzard.
I mean, she's like, yeah, whatever with your stupid Butterfinger Blizzard. Trying to scam me. Why is this guy so interested in her business? Yep, thought so. He's about to tip somebody off. The King Killer. Damn, Maya. Didn't I say? Anywhere you go that's familiar, sis. But I understand she probably doesn't have any other connections. And something tells me this guy is going to be a collateral damage.
Bullet or blade?
Both. I don't know.
Locking hemostat. It keeps the cannula from slipping out of your carotid during desanguination. But,
he's like, I can't sign any of that. There we go. Yeah, well. Yeah, she literally fixes bodies. I mean, they're already gone. There's a lot less risk, but you know. Ma'am, it's that or the hospital. Pick one. You know what happens if you go to the hospital with a gunshot wound.
dental floss. Nice.
That looks horrible. It was mint. I'm telling you, that's why it's called the pus. She used mint flavored. Should have gone with plain.
She finds out you were here. You didn't see her.
It's gonna hurt.
I won't bring a war here.
Yeah, that's not smart.
Why are you doing this?
I mean, I agree, but he's right. You're gonna hurt a lot of people you love. You still have your Nana here. And your sister.
I never saw you. We didn't have this conversation.
This is the thing with being on a quest for vengeance. This is why it's such a bloody and dehumanizing trail. Fisk, right? She shot him in the... Oh, damn. She really thought she killed him. Wow. Okay, no spoilers. No spoilers. Okay, guys. Wow. Okay, so that was season 1, episode 1 of Echo. And, child. She came with the heat right out of the gate. Wow. Okay, so... Okay, so yes, this episode was definitely giving us our backstory. They really just kind of gave us the history on Maya, her background. We see what happened with her family, that they were living in Oklahoma, seemingly a pretty chill suburban life. Her parents, her grandparents, and I'm assuming her cousin. And, things were pretty cool for her. Things were good for her. And then we see that unfortunately her father's past of running with gangs caught up with them. And it looks like they were attempting or probably thinking they were going to put a hit on her dad. But that fateful night, her mom and her were in that truck instead. And we see that unfortunately it cost her mother her life. And that is when the looks like very, very tense and frail relationship between her mother's side of the family and her father broke. Understandably, like, that conversation in the hospital was brutal, but I understood both sides of the story. Like, the mother is grieving. She saw this as a possibility that could have happened, and her worst nightmare came true. And I understand why she felt the need to lash out at somebody, even though it really wasn't directly her son-in-law's fault, but the sins of the past, right, coming back to haunt. And yeah, I mean, in the strictest sense, her father probably shouldn't have married anyone, really. If you have a history like that, ties like that, it's probably best not to involve anybody in there that you care about. But that's not the way it goes, right? Life works the way it does. The heart wants what it wants, and for whatever, we don't know the backstory on her parents, but they fell in love. And like I said, I think that Maya's mom was very aware of his past, and she chose to love him anyway. And so that's the part, I guess, that her mother refused to accept, is that her daughter knew the risks. Obviously, she didn't want to end up that way or want Maya to end up losing her leg, but it is what it is. So anyways, we see that that's what basically caused that tension, broke Maya off from what probably would have been the more grounded side to her family. Her dad then decided to leave. And I mean, it looks like the grandmother wanted to keep Maya and for him to go away, but understandably, he didn't want to leave his daughter after suffering such a loss. And I'm glad he didn't. I think that would have been a bit too much for Maya to lose, both her parents in that way. And so he took her to New York, and we know who's in New York, Mr. Fisk. And as we saw it back in Hawkeye, Fisk and Maya had an uncle, niece relationship. He's known her, I guess, since she was very little. And up until that point, she didn't know him as anything other than someone who was kind to her and someone that her father trusted. But of course, at the age that she was when she would have known him and met him, she wouldn't have known the depths and the breadth to how dangerous a man like Fisk is. And we've learned, well, if you've watched the Daredevil series, you know the way that Fisk is portrayed through that series. Fisk is not a terrible person to the people he cares about as long as they don't cross him. Like, as long as he can trust you, as long as he feels you're on his side, he can be a very caring, benevolent, protective person. But obviously that's a very, very fine and fragile place with him. And if you cross that line, well, we all know that he's capable of some pretty crazy stuff. So Maya didn't know that, of course. And so we see that she lived her life growing up in Fisk's shadow, again, thinking he was just a nice, benevolent uncle. That was until her father was killed, which we saw in the Hawkeye series, and that changed her trajectory. Her father, we saw, was really trying to help her be something different. He realized how his life, the ripple effects of his life, how it ended up taking from him and taking from Maya. And that's why he wanted her to do and be better. That's why he said, I want you to go to school. I want you to live a good life so you don't have to go to the life that I had. But Maya just wanted to be close to him. And I really like the fact that the show brought out, when he said you have to navigate two worlds, because we saw a very brief scene of her in class. And I was saying in the episode, I don't know if she was in a regular school. It kind of looked like she was, which I don't have a deaf child, so I don't know what the protocols are. But I would think that if you have a child who's deaf, that you would put them into a school where there was like with sign language. Like, I understand the need to learn to integrate with society, but I believe that most deaf schools do teach their children how to integrate into a hearing society, because that's where they live. But anyway, you see that Maya was struggling because obviously it's hard to make friends in a hearing world if you don't have people who either sign or have the patience to make sure that they're looking at you so you can read their lips, etc. And her father just basically said, you're going to have to learn to navigate two worlds. There's like, this is your reality because of your situation. So he said, it's possible, you're just going to have to work at it. And he told her she had to watch, she had to learn and look and observe. And that's how she learned how to navigate. And I like that theme continued throughout the rest of the episode, of how she's so very reliant on her vision and being able to see and look at her surroundings and pick things up. And I would venture to say, the same way that Daredevil is able to sense so much more because he can't see the way everyone else does, Maya probably sees so much more and picks up on so much more and perceives so much more because she doesn't have the benefit of hearing her surroundings as well. So it all kind of works out, and it's really made her hyper observant of a lot of things. She's able to pick up on her father's behavior. She was able to pick up on the movements of the person who broke into the place that her father was working at. Like all these things that she probably wouldn't have picked up on nearly as much if she had all of her senses working. So we see how all of that led to her, when she lost her dad, in the end, how that was kind of her last lifeline to kind of the life that he wanted her to have. Like she was probably thinking, I'm doing all the things you're telling me to do, Dad, and you ended up being taken out anyways. And of course, she was angry, she was sad, she was hurt, and she had no place to channel that now. And we see that she was lashing out, like doing things like breaking in, stealing motorbikes, anything to like feel anything other than sad. And Fisk used that as the golden opportunity to rope her into his shadier side of the business. I actually don't think that Fisk meant anything that evil by it. Like, again, the Fisk we were introduced to in Daredevil is not just some mustache twirling villain. He's actually a layered person who has his own belief systems around what he's doing. And I do think he genuinely cared about Maya. And I do think he genuinely thought he was helping her while also helping himself, of course. But as we all know, unfortunately, that didn't turn out well for Maya. Like taking your anger and rage and those negative emotions and channeling them into something so violent is never the answer. And unfortunately, that led her down a very dark path. And you can see, and I think, again, the actress did a great job of showing how in the beginning, she was smiling at the end. She was feeling good because the rush and the euphoria of it kept her from feeling the pain of her loss. But as she went further down the path and did more and more things that were further away from what her father taught her, but also who she was intrinsically, you saw her, the joy drained, and it started to become, you could see her just withdrawing into herself. And she clearly wasn't happy with the life she was living anymore. But she didn't really know how to get out of it at that point, or she didn't know if she could get out of it. But then we see what happened. The events of Hawkeye happened. And of course, she found out that the person she thought, like the last parental figure that she had, sadly, was not who she thought he was, and she took matters into her own hands. So obviously that was going to have a ripple effect, and I don't think she thought about that at the time, but I didn't realize she dead shot him in the eye. I thought maybe she did like a chest shot or something, but she really thought she took that man out, which, I mean, hey, if you're going to take a shot at the king, you better make it count. And we see that this has been her life since. She's had to run because his gang is huge. It's vast. And when you take out a man, a figure like Kingpin, who is at the head of a massive organization, there's going to be a vacuum. And not only is that going to cause an issue within the organization, but because of what she did, the king killer, as they call her, you can't have someone like that wandering around because you're going to lose that face, right? You need to find someone like that and make an example out of her so that no one else gets any ideas for whoever happens to step up next in their place. But as we saw, Kingpin's not gone yet. And we'll have to see whether or not he's still the Kingpin we know, because again, a bullet to the head is usually a death sentence. But if he did survive, I have no doubt there's going to be some ramifications. Clearly, he's not going to have that eye anymore. But I'm thinking about mentally how that's going to affect his brain, his thought processes. What Kingpin are we going to get when he comes out of this coma? And I say when because, come on, we wouldn't bother putting him in this show just to sit in a coma for 5 episodes. Or maybe we would. But anyway, so we see that Maya's been on the run since, and obviously the world's going to get very small when you've got that level of an organization looking for you. And we see that she eventually ended up back home because that's the last place that she has any kind of connections or roots or people who have a reason to risk themselves to help her. And we discover that she's trying to send a message to Fisk's people. And whether it's because she's still angry or because she's trying to get them off her back, we're not sure. But we see that, I'm assuming that was her uncle. He said, nah, like I'm not doing it because we do that, we're bringing the war back here. We're going to bring a lot of negative attention back to this tiny town that is no way, shape, or form in a place to defend themselves against the likes of a Fisk gang. So yeah, that's where Maya's left at the moment. And I think she should have known that that was not a good proposal. But this is what I said about, when you want to go on the path of revenge, it's always a very dark and bloody one. And a lot of times it has way more victims and collateral damage than you initially thought or that you initially planned on having. So we'll have to see how Maya goes from there. And then outside of that, we had some interesting stuff at the beginning of the episode. We saw what looks like some type of a historical event, the story of the Choctaw, I think they were called, which I'm assuming is an indigenous tribe to the United States. I'm not familiar with all of the indigenous tribes. The names that I've heard have been small and varied, but this is, based on the actors I'm seeing. I saw Graham Greene in there, my Canadian man, very famous actor. For those of you American, the one who played her grandfather, he's played in a lot of Canadian TV up here. He's very, very famous indigenous actor. I'm assuming that this is one of Maya's ancestors, and it looks like a story was told of how they were living in some kind of interesting cave with green skin, and then suddenly they were brought to the surface world and the green skin was gone, and they were led by their leader, Chafa, which is the name of the episode here. But it was interesting because of Maya's name, I assumed she was only Latina and that her roots were maybe to the Inca Mayans, but now I realize that she's indigenous and Latino. So, both are indigenous really, but yeah, two different types of indigenous anyways. So that's really cool. That's a really cool history. And I really like how they're incorporating her heritage into this show. But again, I'm not exactly sure how that flashback and the dream she had subsequently tie in. I'm assuming it definitely has a purpose and we're going to see it as the show goes on. But yeah, that's all we got in this episode. And also that bird who appeared, and we see that bird appeared in the first part of the show right before the earthquake happened that crushed them out of their home. And then we saw the bird appear the same night that unfortunately Maya's mother passed away. So yeah, apparently I think we can look at that bird as an omen of bad things to come in this show if we do see it again. But if there is some meaning to it that some of you guys know, if anyone out there knows the meaning of that bird and what it means to the culture, I would really appreciate that knowledge because I'm not sure at all. And I'm pretty sure it's got some significance. But hey, they might also tell us in future episodes as well. But that's pretty much it. This was a really good start to the show, I think. Again, just covering a lot of ground, giving us that backstory and also catching us up from where we were at the end of Hawkeye. And now we kind of know where the state of the world is for Maya and kind of where her stakes are. And now we're getting an idea of where she wants to go next. But again, we didn't get to hear what her plan was. We just know that she's not done with Fisk and Fisk's, Fisk's organization, I should say, because she obviously doesn't know that Fisk is still alive. So yeah, good episode. I enjoyed it a lot and I hope you guys enjoyed watching with me. If you did, please show some love to this video and I will see you in the next one.